as much as there are good reasons to start or to be part of a homeschool co-op, just like marriage, it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be encouraging, it's supposed to be building each other up. There are definitely disadvantages. And I guess probably the biggest is time. You're going to take probably a huge part of your day, your homeschool time, if you will, and carve it out to commit it to group learning instead of in your house. So like I said, my homeschool co-op met just once a week. That doesn't sound too bad, does it? 3 hours. But I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when we came home from co-op, I was exhausted. Why is it so tiring? I don't know why. I mean, just the input, I guess we're used to, well, depending on the size of your family. I only have 2 kids, so my house is relatively quiet. But co-op, it was just exhausting. And it was really hard after getting home at the end of co-op. They had 3 hours of class to get them back to studying. So basically Friday was wiped off. You know, that means everything else had to get done in 4 days a week. So I remember we were doing one of those math programs, I think it was Saxon, that was pretty much on the 5-day, you know. And it was kind of tough putting everything into 4 days a week. So you're going to give up time, hopefully it's worth the benefit, and money. Now we can talk about money. I'm a CPA, that's what I'm pretty good at. But co-ops can run, some of them on a shoestring, like no money at all, especially if you get free rent or something like that. But some of them can be quite expensive. You know, and I've seen co-ops where they're charging $300 per class per student. Now that's still cheaper than private school, but there are parents that are paying out thousands of dollars to be part of a co-op. And those co-ops are really not quite cooperative in the way that the parents are cooperating, teaching each other. Those are usually where you're hiring someone to teach a class. And usually those expensive ones are at the high school level. Okay? But time and money, just like marriage. Just like marriage, unmet expectations. Okay, you may go into a co-op situation, or you may be in one, and you think, this is what I want my co-op to do for me. Well, guess what? Just like marriage, he's not going to meet all your expectations, neither is the co-op. Right? So you have to kind of deal with that. Matter of fact, in my book, I actually have an exercise where you go through and you write down, what do I want out of this co-op? What do I want my homeschool co-op to be? And what do I really not care if it is? Does that make sense? So you aren't putting your even unspoken expectations on the leadership. Does that make sense? Okay, so I told you I signed up for Homeschool Co-op for speech class. That was basically all I wanted out of it. And what happened in my homeschool co-op is we had to move locations after a few years of being in this church. The church started complaining that we weren't cleaning it well enough, and there was an incident in the boys' bathroom. I never asked the details, I didn't want to know. We basically got kicked out of our church. Found a new location. It was like 5 miles further away, and one of the homeschool co-op leaders was very upset by this. Because her expectation was that her co-op would be very close to her home, so that her children's friends that they made a co-op would be also physically close to her home. Wow, that's quite a high expectation for us to all meet on her behalf. It was even an unspoken expectation, and it was kind of like, well, why did you think the co-op was going to fulfill that expectation forevermore? So unrealistic expectations are something you need to maybe consciously think of, what do I want out of this? What am I willing to give up? That makes sense? Yeah.
What do you, when you have, from a leadership standpoint, you find, because we've gone through and asked, our members to fill out what they want and what they don't, what they expect or what they would like from a co-op before we reevaluate that, each semester. What do you do when you have ones that are like just like that, where you're like, wow, that is like, I don't even know why you would expect someone to meet that for you,
I mean, you rephrase the question, for the recording, but basically you're saying you do ask your attendees, what do you want from co-op, what would you like it to be, and that's good, we want to meet people's needs right now, offer something they don't want or need. There's some handouts in the back, welcome, but at the same time you cannot meet all expectations, so that's really important for you as the leaders to have what's called a purpose or a mission. This is what we focus on. So say you there's this group here in Cincinnati called Double Digits. Your child has to be in the double digits in order to join. They're not going to focus on the younger grades. That is their mission. They're sticking to it. So it's a matter of how much you guys are going to stick to what you start with. And it's a matter of communicating to your membership, you know, I'm not supposed to be all things to you.
Yeah.
Just like my husband is not going to meet all my needs. And yeah, I've got some I call them zingers in a few minutes to help you remember that. So it's a matter of telling yourself that as a member, telling your membership that when you're the leader, reminding your board of what you're there for, and that you cannot meet everyone's expectations, but focus on just a few. That make sense?
Yeah.
Just like marriage, you're going to surrender control. There's the remote. Right? I think in a homeschool co-op, this is how it happened for me. This is when I consciously remember releasing control. So my daughters were in this wonderful class taught by my friend Laura, Ohio history. And it was like 4th grade. My daughter's in 4th grade at the time. And she comes home with these cute little crafts based on Native Americans. Ohio history. Okay, fine. And I'm thinking, after the 3rd week of crafts from Native American Ohio Indians, when are we going to do something different? You know, Ohio is the birthplace of presidents. We should be studying the presidents, I'm thinking to myself. And then I had to stop and say, no, wait a minute, Carol. You're not teaching Ohio history. Laura is. So here was the Unmet Expectations, again, rearing their ugly head, and I had to surrender control and say, if you want to teach Ohio history, Carol, then you can teach about presidents. Well, when someone else is doing it, let her do it her way. I had to surrender control. And that's pretty hard for homeschool parents to do, isn't it? That's one big disadvantage of a homeschool co-op. And if you're not ready to surrender control, you're not ready to be in a co-op. Also, there's different styles. Many times, co-ops can be too much like school. I even know one co-op that met in a school, and they had bells. Ding, you know, and sometimes you have to get the kids moved to the next class, and you gotta have rules, and you know what to do when they're sick, and no red Kool-Aid because the church doesn't like it, right? I mean, even desks and rows, and if that is not your style, then start a co-op that is your style. Okay, you can do it, and it can be very small. I'm not saying you have to have 40 people. My co-op had 40 people, but that can chafe at some of you if you know you didn't want that, because that's why you homeschool. Socialization. Now, the reason most of us homeschool is because we want socialization for our kids, but then there's the negative kind, like that T-shirt. Hello, my name is Major Trouble. Don't make me prove it. The kids like this are going to come to your homeschool co-op, and there's not a lot you can do. Well, there is a lot you can do about it. There is a lot. I mean, you know, hopefully the parent is coming and you can address these issues. In my homeschool co-op, there were these this family of, there were like 4 daughters, but they were all very rough and tumble girls, not girly girls, rough and tumble. And they're walking down the hallway, kicking each other and punching each other right there in front of me. And I made them stop, because I don't think that's the right behavior to display in my Christian homeschool co-op. So there's going to be some behaviors that you don't like to see. Now that one, it was easy to stop because we don't hit, right? At home, they were allowed to hit and punch and kick each other. So these kind of things are going to happen. Your kids are going to come home saying words from homeschool co-op, just like they come home from Sunday school sometimes, right? Anybody had that happen in your church? Oh my gosh. So anyway, just be aware. It's still going to happen. Fortunately, it doesn't happen as much. You don't have as much, if you will, deprogramming, like our friends in public and private schools. Homeschool co-op probably only meets once, maybe twice a week. Okay? So, just like marriage, before you say I do, consider time, money, and your commitment. I just had my friend Michelle from my homeschool co-op. She is starting a new one. She's been a part of the homeschool co-op I belong to, and she's launching a new one. And she said, you know, I think some people just don't understand the word co-op means we cooperate. We all have to pitch in. So if you're at a stage in your life where you just don't think you have the time to put in, meaning volunteering, not just going, but volunteering and committing in some way to help, you may not be at the stage of your life where you can do that. You may have to wait. Okay? So, because your co-op needs you. That's what a co-op is. So my co-op made this rule about if you're sick, one of your children is sick, If you're sick, please don't come. But if one of your children is sick, but everybody else is healthy, twice a semester you can send the healthy kids, so long as another parent agrees to kind of, have oversight, drive them and pick them up. And then, so there were 2 times a semester you could send your kids but not come yourself. We couldn't allow any more than 2 times a semester because we needed mom to help. Does that make sense? I mean, you're nodding your heads. Yeah. So if you don't think you can be there, don't sign up. Okay? Any questions?